Have you ever thought about how much time you really spend on your phone?
All the time. That's all I think about. My 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 stubborn addiction to the phone.
Hmm.
That I spend half my waking life on a phone. It's disgusting.
It
But
is frustrating,
it's my life.
right? And how do we know exactly the amount of time we spend on the phone? Have you ever looked at
Yeah, it's a lot.
your features that show how much? Yeah,
It's like 8 hours plus.
yeah, that's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time. It's half my day. If I sleep for 8 hours, I'm up for 16. Half of 16 is 8. That means for every minute, I am on my phone for 30 seconds.
Wow.
Like right now, I'm itching to get on my phone.
Well, this is kind of cool because we don't have our phone. So for an hour, we don't
That's right,
use our
man.
phone.
Just
Oh,
think,
it's
yeah,
on
but then I got
it's
to make
on
up
your
for it
leg.
when I'm off the.
All right.
Well, that's the thing. Like here's the analogy I always give is I definitely consider myself an addict to my phone. And not only the phone as the device itself, but what the phone does to me. That short-term gratification of notifications and whatever I'm kind of looking forward to, right? It's like pulling a slot machine down, right? Every time you refresh a page, you get something new and you win essentially. So that is the real comparison and reasons why these social media platforms are designed like that. Every time you scroll, your win may not be money, but it is a new post to like or share, enjoy. So while it is an addiction that I've identified, I think the the bright side of it is it's not an addiction where I crave it when it's gone. Hypothetically, if my phone were to crash right now or it's on airplane mode or it's in the other room, I'm not sitting here thinking, holy shit, I got to get back to my phone. It's actually like almost like a relief that I don't have to touch it. Whereas if I was addicted to a drug or liquor, I would seriously crave it and would not be able to live without it.
Well, this is an addiction. You said it now a couple times, maybe in different ways, but it is an addiction.
Correct. Yeah, 100%.
So, like any addiction, how do you break it? How do you?
It's tough because like it's almost like saying how do you break your addiction to like air? Like the phone for me is just a real part of my life. It's not like alcohol or a drug where I don't necessarily need it. For what I do in the life we live, especially, we do need it. So you take the example like this device, while you're not addicted to everything about the device, you're addicted to, let's say, half the things on the device. How do you still use the device and then stare your addiction in the face and then just kind of be like, okay with it? It's a very hard thing to break.
So, let's break this down. You have your phone. You said you're on 8 hours. Of the
Yeah.
8 hours, you're going to use it for business. You're going to use it for pleasure, and you're going to use it for personal, because pleasure and personal is different, right? In my mind, pleasure and personal. When I say personal, means I need information, right? You know, Google
Yeah,
something.
sure.
You're going to verify. You're going to go on a vacation. You want to plan. So 8 hours, business, personal, and pleasure. What do you think that looks like?
This is blurred lines. Like again, I could always justify to myself and say I'm working, I'm looking at content, I'm trying to find new ways to make content, and I want to pull inspiration. But at the same time, I know when I'm just numbing my mind and I'm looking for like I have a very hard time being bored and alone with myself. So anytime I'm alone, I'm like, all right, I have to be stimulating myself in some way. And so I can make the excuse and say, oh, I'm bored, I need to stimulate, let me go work. But that's not work. It's just flooding your mind with some things that you could pull inspiration from, but it really isn't. That's not the reason why I went and looked for it.
Okay, business. How many hours?
I can't even tell you because
Yes, you
again,
can.
I
Think.
really can't. I can't tell you how many hours a day I'm on this phone for business because I really could justify every second that I'm on Instagram. I'm learning something new about how the platform operates and works.
Okay, so because you're part of the social media platform and we are these influencers, I agree. There's a lot of times that I look at my phone and I feel like I'm learning. Yeah, I'm attracted and I see the flashy, shiny post and reel and short, whatever it is, whether it's something that I is attractive to me by way of it's a baseball clip or it's a highlight or it's a two people fighting in the street, whatever it is, that grabs my attention. So you look at it, but I'm also looking at, well, why did that grab my attention? So we can justify a little bit of it and say, well, it's research and development, or whatever. Truth is, if it's 8 hours and you're using 8 hours as an example, it's probably, I think in my mind, it's it's 6 hours of true business, because the business of social media that we're in yeah, we use those platforms. We have to post. You've got to put it on there. So I'll make an excuse that we're a little different that way. But there's also, my full-time job of mortgage financing that I need to use for my emails. So I find myself, checking my emails, checking Twitter, checking Instagram, going back to my emails, and that's sort of the juggling act through the day. Not to mention using the phone to talk on and communicate. We didn't even discuss that.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this clip, be sure to check this one out right here because it's just as good or maybe even better. Cheers.